Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. This morning it is January 19th, 2024. We will be looking at Proverbs chapter 19. And good morning, Random. Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning to the rest of you that chose to catch me live. And for those who will catch me a little bit later, we are so glad that I am so glad, but I say we because, well, God as well, is glad that you took the time to join us in this process. Today we're looking at Proverbs 19, and I'm going to look at verse 13 and 11. Verse 13 says this: "A foolish son is his father's ruin, and a wife's nagging is an endless dripping." A foolish son is his father's ruin, and a wife's nagging is an endless dripping. We all have those situations in our lives, those people, those experiences, those things that just feel like they're completely unovercomable, right? There's nothing I can do about it. I just need to get away. I can't take it anymore. I quit type experiences. We've all had them, right? Right? Yeah, I know. We've all had them. But verse 11 tells us this: "A person's insight gives him patience, and his virtue is to overlook an offense." You see, even in the fact that I can have someone in my life who feels like sandpaper to me, they don't ever listen or do what I want or think or know. They ask for advice, I give it to them, and they tell me I'm stupid. Happens all the time, by the way. They won't, 99% of the time, they don't say you're stupid. They say things like, I tell them, well, this is what needs to happen. This is the next step. And they look at me and say, you don't understand. Or, well, you're right, but. Or something to that effect. Isn't that what our kids do? I mean, I had a teenager, I know, right? I was a teenager. I was worse than my daughter. That's scary. My parents would say, this is the next step. This is what you got to do. And I'd look at them and say, yeah, I get it, but I'm going to do this because this makes more sense. A foolish son is his father's ruin. It can rip you apart. A nagging wife is like that sink that drips constantly. It just drives you insane. Solomon said this: a person's insight gives him patience, and his virtue is to overlook an offense. When that person doesn't hear, your insight can say they're not ready to hear. And so you stand back and wait. Many times when I'm communicating with that person and they reject outright what I've said, my response is simple. Okay. Especially in the text message. But I do it in person as well. Okay. That means you're not ready. I understand. When things go to hell, I'll still be here. And I'll probably tell you to do the same thing I told you to do before, unless it's too late to do that. The nagging wife side of things, understand, my wife doesn't nag. Very grateful. The Lord showed me several times this week how precious of a gift she is to me. And I'm grateful for her. But I have been married before. And I've watched other wives. And quite honestly, I've been in experiences where I've had bosses who nag. Sound like a Yeah, never mind. Anyway, I've been around that experience. If I have insight, I may understand that, this thing is difficult in their life right now, and they just really need that one piece to go away so they can be focused on the other thing that's more important to them. And that's why they're on it. Insight gives me patience. And because of patience, I can have virtue, or I can be seen as someone who cares by overlooking what they did. Something to think about today as we go into our days. Do we have insight? Are we applying it? Because if you're not applying it, you don't have insight. That's a fact. And as you apply it, it will look like virtue, or it will look like your glory as you ignore the offense. I get butthurt really quick when somebody asks me my opinion, or asks for advice, or asks me what they need to do, and then they reject it outright. That's me. I'm a people pleaser to the core. And when they reject me, they reject an idea that I have. They're rejecting me outright. That's my brain. But if I can use the insight, have patience, I can overlook that offense. How about you? I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.